And now one of the reasons we can get stuck in toxic relationships with narcissistic people is not because we are in love with the person of the narcissist. Oh no, it's because we are in love with being in love. That's right, we are in love with love. And it's easy to become in love with love because love is something that we all desire. The reason we desire love so much is because love is something that we don't even really understand. It's something that we're looking for, searching for, desiring. And then when we think we found it in a toxic relationship, boom, nope, nada. Well, in this message, we're going to talk about understanding love because it is that important. And hopefully this will change your life as it is changing mine. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. I wanna feel what love is. Let's talk about love. I know you can show me. Yeah. Actually, nobody is going to show you what love is. Nobody's going to bring that love into your life to help you understand it. But what we can start doing is start to understand love ourselves. And so that way we can start to identify love when we see it. And we can also start to better compartmentalize and know how we are relating to others and what type of love we are experiencing and how we ought to love other people in any given situation. Because if we're honest, most of us walk around in our lives curious, wondering, is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love that I've been searching for? And then we're just let down. Now, in the Western world, right where we live, in the English dictionary, we have this one word, love, and it's so abstract. It just covers a multitude of things, and it leaves us broken and desperate because it can mean anything. Abusive people, narcissistic people use the word love nonstop. As a matter of fact, they probably abuse the heck out of you and then turn around and tell you, I love you. Is that love? Is this love? No, it's not love. At least it's not the love that you're looking for. So thankfully, we can go back to another language, another time in history, and we could look at a breakdown in the ancient Greek because they have given us distinct words that actually mean distinct different things pertaining to love. And it's important because this can change your life. If you understand these distinct words and you take in these distinct definitions, it will help you to understand how you are to love others, what type of love you are receiving from others. And this is especially good if you have a difficult time creating boundaries, right? So if you have a hard time creating boundaries in your relationships, it might help to understand the ancient distinct words for love, because this will help clarify where you are in relationship to another person, where your love begins and theirs ends, or where yours ends and theirs begins, or whatever the case may be. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I put these in order of what I believe is a priority that we should understand. So the first one we're going to look at, the first word, ancient Greek word that we're going to look at is Philia. Philia, beginning with a P-H. Now, Philia is self-love. And now this doesn't mean the type of self-love in the New Age way. You know, the magazine cover, love yourself by sitting down and hugging yourself, embracing yourself for hours on end. That's not it, right? That's a bunch of hoopla. Real self-love comes in the form of how you take care of yourself, right? How you eat, how you exercise, how you educate yourself. This is all practicing self-love. This is the most important love, I believe, that we can have. It's not a narcissistic love. We're not talking about grandiosity. We're talking about the basic ways in which you take care of yourself. Because the truth is nobody in this life is going to take care of you as good as you are. A lot of us still have this idea of the parental figure that's going to take care of us in this life. Now, if your parents did their job right, if they did their responsibility the right way, they would have instilled in you the understanding that you need to love yourself, take care of yourself. And this is important because out of loving yourself, right, you're going to overflow into the next area of love. Real quick, on a side note, Philia, right, self-love, this is where most of us have the biggest gaping holes in our life. Right? It's in our lack of self-love that we are searching for other things outside of ourselves to come in and fill those holes. This is where narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, that's where they come from. But if we seal those holes up, learn complete self-love, then we'll have that boundary. We'll know how to love ourselves, and then we'll also know what we need from others. So it's from this love then that we overflow to what I believe is the next most important love, and that is agape. Number 2 is agape. Now, this is in fact the love of the Bible. This is the love of God. This is the love of Jesus. Agape is a selfless love out of the overflow of what you already have inside of you. It's a love that calls you to give outside of yourself and not expect anything in return. You are capable of this love. You do this love, so have I. This is the love that allows you to feed the hungry. This is the love that causes you to save somebody who's in distress, to do something when something in return is not coming back to you, nor do you expect it, nor do you need it or want it. It is in all effect, it is your ability to just be blessed and feel satisfied by the act of you giving out. That is agape. This is the love of God and of Jesus. So for those of you who say, well, the Bible says to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you and blah, blah, whatever, your rant is about why you're confused as to where you should be with narcissists, it's not the type of love that you're thinking. That love that it's talking about is you simply being able to feed the hungry and not take anything in return. So if you can get this idea down with narcissistic people and toxic relationships, you'll know how to love them. It's, okay, no, this is for you. No, I don't need anything from you. That's fine. I'm blessing you and that blesses me. Okay, bye, peace out, right? It's that type of love. But again, since we don't have this breakdown of the ancient Greek words, we tend to over-dramatize that love. We expect from narcissistic people, we expect from toxic people, and that's really where we get hurt. So those covers the first two, Philia and agape. Now the third one that I want to talk with you about. And again, this is not an order of importance in general. This is just what I believe to be important in how we experience them in our life. The third one is Ludus. Now we're starting to get into the love that we externalize outward mutually with other people. So number 3 is Ludus, and Ludus is a playful love. In the Greek language, it is almost flirtatious. And now we need to understand that Ludus is in and of itself what it is. It's just flirtatious and it's playful, joking, meeting for coffee, talking and stuff like this. We do Ludus with different people, yet it gets us into trouble because with Ludus can sometimes come other expectations, right? If you're meeting and having fun with somebody and you're joking and you're even flirtatious, to some people that might mean, ooh, the next step is sex. Let's talk about sex. And you might be going, well, I wasn't there. We're just flirting and having fun. Listen, I myself have been guilty of falling into this in Ludus because I have in the past been a very flirtatious person, just naturally, because I like to talk and have fun and joke, and others would perceive that, and I've gotten myself into trouble with people saying, but you said this, and I thought this meant something, and blah, blah, and I'm like, oh, we're just having fun. So I've had to learn that there's a place and time where you can experience Ludus, which is playful, flirtatious, and you can do it safely. You can't do that with everybody, but when you find that, you're able to draw boundaries around that and say, this is all it is. Listen, we're having fun, we're playing, and we flirt, but we don't need to cross the line into actually having sex or being committed or in any way. It's just Ludus. And this, again, is why I am so thankful that we have the Greek language and the ancient Greek language at that to give us these distinct words, right? Some of you right now can start to understand how you can better use these words and set boundaries around your life and your relationships, and also how to better navigate, where you are, where they are. because these things, it's important to understand these words are independent of one another. See, the word love in the English dictionary encompasses all things, and it says they all work together. According to the ancient Greek, you can have Ludus and not have anything else. This brings us to the next one that I believe is important to talk about. It's what Ludus often morphs into, and that is Eros. Eros is the next one I want to talk to you about. This is a sexual desire. This is that thing, right? That thing, that thing, that thing. And if we're not careful, we can get into that thing, Eros, without really wanting to. Why? Because we were in an episode of Ludus, and yet we were convinced that that means we need to get involved in Eros, right? You flirted, therefore the next step is sex. See, some of these things assume the next, right? Now, it's possible for Ludus to morph naturally into Eros. You can start off playful and flirtatious with somebody, then it naturally progresses into a desire, right? For something more, that thing, right? And if naturally it happens with both people, okay, that's a natural progression. But if one person is pushing for that because of Ludus, well, you may need to be able to address that and say, well, that's not where I'm trying to go. I'm just having fun. I don't mean it to go that far. And in all honesty, if you try this, if you understand this principle, when you'll avoid toxic relationships because you'll cut it off and say, I'm not going there. We're okay having fun and flirting, right? But I'm not going over there. I'm not doing that thing. I'm not going into Eros. And if the person runs or if they ditch out or leave you alone, that's your sign right there that they were only interested in that thing, that thing, that thing, all right? And boom, you can cut them out because they're not interested in just having a fun relationship with you of flirting and joking every now and then, okay? So that's Eros. Eros is desire, passion, sex. And also, it's important to understand that that exists on its own too. Eros doesn't require anything else, and we already know this, right? This is why strip clubs exist, so people can get out their Eros, if you will, their fiery, fire in the pants passion that exists by itself without the love of commitment, without any of that stuff, right? This is important for us to understand. The next one I want to talk to you about is Philia. Philia. This is an important one because this is your intimate and authentic friendships. Now, in a relationship, you want intimacy, and ultimately you want an authentic friendship in a relationship. So hopefully the ideal situation for a partnership in life would be the Ludus, Eros, and Philia, where you have a playfulness, you have that desire, and then also you have an intimate and authentic, where you're able to be real, right? But oftentimes we rush into a relationship and you go from Ludus to Eros in 60 seconds, and then by the time it gets to the part where you're trying to develop Philia, which is intimate and authenticity, it's already over, right? And the reason is because you're dealing with a toxic person that never even wanted to get that far. They were only interested in the Eros, okay? The next one I'll talk to you about is Pragma. Pragma is a committed, it's a companionate love. It's a committed relationship. Now, Pragma is an important one because in all long-term relationships, you're going to reach a point where you have to make a decision and you choose to commit to the relationship or you choose to cut it out. And hopefully you've held off on the Eros and all these things until you're able to look at the person you're dealing with and understand their ability to have Pragma, their ability to be committed in life. How stable are they? No. If they're coming to you after being married 4 times, that should tell you right there that they do not have the ability for any Pragma. They are unstable people. And I can't even begin to tell you how many times I hear that from people when I deal on one-on-one sessions. Well, they were married 4 times and, well, I'm not perfect, so I took them in and they hurt me. Well, of course they hurt you because they're not stable people. There's no Pragma. So you want to see Pragma in their lives to some extent, because that's going to tell you who and what you're dealing with. And then finally, the last one I'll talk with you about is Storge. Storge is an unconditional familial love. This is the type of love that's unconditional. This is the type of love that you would have for your own children, right? They're going to mess up. They're going to be children, but you love them unconditionally. You lead them and you guide them, right? So these are important to understand. If we can break away from just looking at the word love and trying to search for that. Is this love that I'm a feeling? No, it might just be Eros, or it might just be Ludus, right? So if we can understand these things and learn about them, then you will be able to identify what type of love you are to give and what type of love you are receiving from others, and it will help you with your boundaries. I want to be able to help you out, understand these even further. Down below, you'll find access to my calendar for one-on-one appointments. We could have a telephone call, FaceTime, or WhatsApp video call. There's more options down below in the description box. Also, Monday night is Royal We Live Chat, and Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship. Head on down to the description box. You'll find everything down there. My name is Kevin. I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.